I'm just giving
We're
you a good
hoping he is back before the storm.
Oh, wow.
That's right. You still have snow. A lot of snow in Denver.
Oh, oh my.
I saw your pictures. It was like,
Big
wow.
storm coming.
Ah,
It's
Okay, well,
very fun though.
good. Enjoy it.
Well, I want to thank all of you for being on. And it's good to see some new faces. And this was an opportunity to ask questions, to find out what people are doing. And at the same time, as we learn from each other, going back to the basics, so very important. Had a talked with Richard for a promo, Richard Brook, the other morning. I don't know if any of you have seen it or not. Could we mute the lines, Nina? Thank you. Anyway, it was an opportunity to ask a few questions that were not recorded, and also, while it was recorded, I wanted him to talk about the importance of vision, which he's going to be talking about. And that's on the 23rd. So if you have not registered for the 23rd, please do so. I can still get some tickets for that for $69. Otherwise, they're $99. It's going to go from 1 o'clock to 8 o'clock, and they're going to be breakout groups. And so you'll have a chance to join some of these breakout groups. And I'll let you know of one, but one is going to be with Marty and Cheryl Turner, and I'll be on, and probably Laura Evans will be on for a while. And so we have these breakout groups. In other words, Richard will be covering some things, and then we can have, say, I don't know how it's going to work, but maybe another Zoom number that people who want to be in that group can ask questions and, find out what they're doing and so on, and how it relates to what he has covered. But he's definitely going to be talking about casting a vision. And I know there's a lot of stuff going on right now in Shackley that's very, very uncomfortable. I will be the first to say it should never have happened. It was not tested well enough, as most of you know. And it's definitely been a downer for a lot of people's businesses. And as I told Richard, I said, the thing that must be done now is that people must regroup their thinking and start focusing on a vision. Because without that strong vision, then it becomes a training program on all the things that I know I should do, but I really don't want to do. When you have that strong vision, then we're going to do these things because we're going to get the job done. I cannot emphasize enough the importance for people to really focus on Costa Rica. In other words, if we're really going to focus on it, what better way than to look at a YouTube on Costa Rica, especially at the resort we're going to be at, which, by the way, if you were going to go down there and pay your way, it's about $500 to $600 a night. So it's a very, very, very nice resort, plus everything is inclusive. So if you want to have something to eat while you're sitting on the beach, you can. It's all taken care of. So that's kind of nice. It's very nice, as a matter of fact. So the more we can picture it, the better things are going to work for us. And I feel a lot of people are looking for a plan. I talked to somebody the other day, and she kept insisting, I want to have a plan. I want to know what I do for step 1, step 2, step 3. I said, but I don't know where you're going with it. Well, I want to have a big business. I said, I can't help you with step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4. I can't help you with anything. And I believe it was a lack of confidence on her part as to why she kept wanting to have a plan. And I explained that it's like in anything else. If you don't know the pair of shoes you're going to pick up, are you really going to go shopping? Maybe, but you're going to have a great plan to get those shoes that are on sale just on Saturday morning, if that's what you want. We figure out the best time to go. We figure out how close to park to the store. We figure out all these things in advance. And so when we have the clarity of where we're going and what we're going to accomplish, if we're going on that trip, then we should know things like, do they have a washer and dryer there? Or maybe we want to wash clothes while we're there and dry them. Do we know how far the resort is from the beach? If you are into various sporting activities, do you know that? Do you know what the temperature is at that time of the year? Do you know if they have snorkeling if you like to snorkel? Do you know if they have sailboats that you can sail if you want to go sailing? Do you know if they have tours that go out from the resort to on these tour boats? They sometimes have dinner and everything else. Do you know if they have those? You know if the resort rents cars, so if you want to take off for a day and see things, that there are car rentals. These are all the details that if we're really planning on going, we should find out about. And we would find out about. So I feel so many people are in Shackley because of the luxury of having such great products, do not have a clear focus. And it can create a lot of disturbance. So I'll make it very, very clear. Shackley did not have a clear long-term focus when they introduced the internet program. If they had, they would have tested it with about 100 sales leaders, so that way, as people were finding the bugs, they could still use the old system. They did not have a clear focus, because a lot of people, without a clear focus, they don't even see timing. Well, let's do it right now. Let's make this happen. I know, I'll give them a call. There's no strategy to it. There's no strategy. You don't have strategy unless you have the big vision. So let's do it right now. The other thing that has happened is all of a sudden, here's a new program. Let's introduce this. And it starts, well, it started the first of the month. It started yesterday. That's what happens without a long-term, good, focus, clear vision. You think about it with anything. If you're going to paint the house without a good, clear focus as to what you're going to do, we could end up going back and forth to the paint store many times. So we know how to save time. We know how to be productive. We know how to put strategy into it. And as I've said to many people, if you want to have the fine-tuned coaching, I can save you 6 years of time. I don't know if Eve is on. Let me check. From Toronto. Trying to bring up the list of names here.
She's on, Roland.
She's on? Okay.
Yes.
Well, Eve is from Toronto, and Eve has had a number of great meetings. Great meetings. And she has such clarity, and soon to be a director, but says such great clarity in going to Costa Rica, being in the warm sun, especially she thinks about that every day, being she's in Toronto, where there's still snow and very cold and so on. And every time we talk on the phone, matter of fact, we talk quite a bit. 4 times today, 4 times. Questions. New people coming in, sponsoring new people like crazy. But with that clear focus, she's asked people, would you do an in-home for me? I mean, and they sense that sense of urgency. I really want to do it. And people are saying, I want to support you, because they can tell she really wants to have a good organization. She really wants to build this thing. They can tell. And so leads are popping up all over the place for people who say they'll have in-homes, they want to help. Oh, if you're really doing Shackley, I'll buy products from you. She talked to this one lady who used to be her tennis coach. And the lady says, well, I'm just going out of town with a few of my friends, celebrate my birthday for about a week on my private jet to the Caribbean. But she said, well, I'll be happy. We buy vitamins, so why don't you give me a few catalogs? and I'll get them out to some of my friends. People want to support a person who wants to win. And you can't focus on the next program, and or a plan that I really don't have any clear focus as to the future. People can sense that you really don't know. They just ask you the question, how are things going? Well, good. But if we have a clear focus, fantastic. I'm going to the Caribbean. I'm going to Costa Rica. That is so powerful to say that. And at the in-home meetings that have happened, Eve has said that. This is my business. This is my career. I'm going to build a great organization. And I thank you for your support. And here's a picture of one of the next trips I'm going on, and you're welcome to come with me. That is so powerful. Do you realize if that is not said at a meeting or an in-home, you're only getting about 10% the value out of that meeting? Because number one, nobody's going to ask, are there trips I can go on? You haven't said anything about it. They haven't asked, are you going on any trips? And they don't know that you're really serious about Shaklee, so they're not inclined to say, I'm going to support you. I'm going to give my supplements to you. So there's such a difference, such a difference. So as I told Richard, I said, people have got to refocus, because what has happened. We can't do anything about it. We must move ahead, but we must not lose sight of the vision. If we don't have a vision, we must create that vision and work on that vision every day. And the stronger I make that vision, the faster things will happen. Things will fall out of the sky, as you've all had happen to you. Things have happened that way. Can I get some comments from you on this, or some questions? Because this is really key, especially right now.
You know, Roland, as you started and you started talking about Costa Rica, and right away, it's like Secrets is such an amazing place. I've been to many Secrets. I have a vacation package with them, and I thought, okay, we need to share. May I do that?
Oh, please.
Okay. Because I think this is one of the most amazing. I don't know if there's anybody on the call who stayed at a Secrets before. I just want to show you this one in Costa Rica, because this is a phenomenal place. Like you said, how many of you have gone on and looked at this? It's just a fun place to be at, but it's luxury. It's amazing. I don't think we've been at one like this for a long time. This is almost like what it used to be for the President's Club stuff. I will tell you that they have the best masseuses at these places. The entertainment is awesome. Let me see, I'll just show a couple more from over here. But just a dream. Look at the, it's a resort away by itself. But you saw there's a good beach, and I know there was a complaint about Los Cabos, they don't have a good beach, but there is a nice beach here at Costa Rica. They like to show that picture, apparently. I think a lot what we do at these places is eat, as you can see. Right? And I'm sure we'll have one of these beach events like Shaklee always does when we're at these places, which is such a special. I love the beach events. So I just wanted to share that, because I think a picture is, and maybe because I'm a picture person, but to me a picture shows a lot. So
would you go back and show that last picture again, please?
This one?
Yes. I believe that is called the Reef, the Reef. And that's where we're going to have lunch on the 5th of May for all the people in the Osterhaus group that have qualified. That's the place. I've already contacted them. I've talked to them to find out how much seating is possible, and can we move some of the tables together. And so I've already made a phone call, and it's at the reef. That's where we're going to be. So picture it, picture it, picture it. Thank you, Nina.
They're all just amazing.
Yeah,
It,
amazing.
and the beauty that's there, but the peacefulness that's there. And if we have this for Shackley, I bet this place will be almost only Shackley.
Yes.
Yes.
Yep.
Just from the secrets I've been in. And it's all adults, which is kind of cool too. Well, I know the secrets usually are all adults.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if they've made exceptions for the Shackley kids. But anyways, okay. Go ahead. I just wanted to share that.
That is so good, Nina. Thank you for showing that.
I love pictures. They inspire me.
That's great.
Sorry. Okay, stop.
Thank you. Other comments? Just unmute your line, and I'd like to know what you're thinking, what you're planning, what your vision is. It would be helpful if you would unmute and tell me.
Sharon, why aren't you talking? I know she's on fire. Unmute.
Yes, please.
All right. So last week, Roland said, we need to work backwards in your organization. And for some reason that stuck in my head and I couldn't sleep. So I picked up my January recap and I worked backwards because I wanted to find out what's going on with my organization. And I drew my group. Yay! So with that in mind, I am going to have 2 strong directors. I will be a key coordinator.
That is wonderful. So today, Sharon called me and we talked about it, and we went over all the qualifications for it and how to make that happen and things that we can do. See, we could, this is a great point for everybody. Thank you, Sharon, is that because I know where you're focused, because of what your vision is, then we can put strategy in. And so we talk strategy as to how we could make that happen. And exactly knowing what must be done to accomplish that. And so that's where the strategy comes in, if we know what we're looking at, what we're focusing on. And so that was, to me, that was a lot of fun. I was working outside with my tractor and everything else, and Sharon called and I shut it off and sat there and we talked strategy. It's amazing how you can do this business while you're sitting on your tractor. But we did. Thank you, Sharon. God damn. Who else? Who has some other comments? Please. Or you want to tell me your vision?
I'd like to say something.
Thank you.
Yeah. I just have had the most incredible phone call about 1 hour ago.
Wow.
And I haven't even had time to pull out paper. And Roland, you're going to be so excited because you know this person. But she has a degree in psych and has had a clinic for some time. Well, the whole thing fell apart. And she has been thinking more in terms of, you know, her client needed brain health, help with that. Anyway, she was just telling me all this stuff. And the more she talked, I thought, I bet she's going to tell me that she's jumping back into Shackley. Do you remember Becky Yeager?
Roland? Yes, I remember. I'm trying to.
from Elizabeth City, North Carolina. And I could not contain myself by the end of the conversation. I said, Becky, I must tell you, I am so excited. I have for years felt like, whoa, this lady is amazing. And I won't give all the details, but I have the last couple days just been kind of wandering around saying, something's got to happen here with my business. Something's got to break loose. I just can't keep going on like this. And here this fell in my lap. And I know it didn't really just fall in my lap. It's because I've been looking for it and waiting. And oh my goodness, I called Dick up in Denver and I said, are you sitting down? You're not going to believe. And I mean, Becky was just talking and talking about all the people she knows. And it was so incredible. I thought she might be on the call tonight, but they hadn't even had their dinner yet. So anyway, she's just like open as can be to whatever I can help her with. Barely. We're going to talk more tomorrow. And I'm just like speechless. I'm so excited I can hardly stand it. So I want to say after that website, this is a breath of fresh air. I mean, it is like so exciting. I'm so happy. So I just had to share that with everybody. It's not about Costa Rica, but of course that could be part of it. So we'll see, but amazing. My spirits are just high.
That
Very
is
fun.
so good, Pam. And what you said, you've been looking for it. And that's the other
Yes.
thing with the vision. You're looking for it and expecting it, and you're glad when it happens,
Yes.
and you knew something was
Yep.
going to happen.
Right.
That's wonderful.
If you turn over enough stones, something will turn up.
That
So,
is right.
yeah,
Wonderful.
I'm thrilled.
Wonderful.
Wow.
Good. Who else? I'd like to hear from you. If you have some questions, please ask the questions.
I just want to say, Pam, my mission statement is, this is the way life is supposed to be. And that falls right into it. This is the way life is supposed to be, because you start believing that with everything that happens. And you're expecting it because this is the way life is supposed to be.
That's right. Eve, why don't you unmute yourself from Toronto and tell us what your thinking is and what's going on. And I don't know how many people you sponsored in the last week, but probably 5 or 6 at least.
I think so. Let's see. Yeah, 6 or 7.
Okay, in the last week. So what do you think about the in-homes that were given? What do you feel that people got out of it? Or, you know, you've tried to talk to some of these people one-on-one, but the in-home, they get to talk with each other and so on. What is there something that you see that's very important with the in-home versus one-on-ones? We still want to do one-on-ones. We still want to follow up and everything, but what did you get from the in-homes?
I definitely saw more excitement, especially on the Saturday one, when everyone actually had time to stand around and taste samples, and I could hear so many stories and sharing going on at the same time. So I also noticed people comparing, like what they wanted to try, what they wanted to purchase. And I can see that does make a big difference when they're listening and they want to be a part of that versus just being by themselves. Mm-hmm. So there's definitely like an excitement more in the air and sort of a willingness to learn from you. I think both of them really appreciated the low-key style that you have and not like a hard sell. Nobody felt pressured and everyone felt that it was very informative. But even it's interesting, even with that, I could still tell they were excited to still try some things and knew that they had to get healthier.
Mm-hmm.
So it's still, even though it's low key, it's very convincing.
Very good. Very good. Thank you, Eve. Well, you're on your way to earning the $1,000, as I told you about. The extra 1,000 is going to come along, and definitely planning on Costa Rica. So we once we have the real clear focus, then we can put strategy in. So that's what makes all the difference. Thank you for that. So Michelle, you had a meeting the other day. You want to talk about that? Michelle Matson?
Yes. I went to a real estate agency and spoke to probably about 20 people. And I only had 10 minutes. It went well. I got a couple people that bought some basic H and some scour off. And then I have a meeting with the manager, hopefully this weekend, with his wife. He's a young father with 2 children, and he wants me to come and talk to his wife and about the cleaning products. So hopefully I get an appointment. I'm going to call him Friday and see if his wife can get together this weekend. We don't have a time yet. She's a teacher, and he said that weekends work better. So that went good. And then I also met with a swim coach, and she bought about $170 worth of products that I had on hand, which was nice because I was able to get it to her right away. And she said she's having good results. She was a little nauseous at first, and I told her to have like toast with her vitamins. So she tried that, and she said that she felt better doing that. So I'll see her tomorrow because I dropped off a cleaning bucket to her to try the cleaning products. But it's been a good week. I've made a lot of calls and a couple really good calls of people that I haven't spoke to in a long time. I went through boxes trying to find some ideas of someone to call, and reached out to a lady that I haven't spoken to probably in about 15 years. And she was the CEO of a insurance company, and she's going to give me a call. She says on Wednesday she's going to be in California, so she's going to call me then, but she's very interested. So I've had a lot of good and bad because I made a lot of phone calls and had some people just say they're not interested now. So when you hear that, it's kind of hard, but then I just push myself out. I'm like, I have to go out. And I met a lady in a coffee shop. She owns the coffee shop this morning, and she was just like so excited about the products. So I left her cleaning products today for her coffee shop. And it just proves that you can't let the no's bring you down, even though it so easily happens with myself because I don't want to hear no. So, but everything it's good. And then I got an order because I'm like, I need to get an order of 150 every day. And I didn't know where it was coming from today, but a person who bought stuff 2 months ago ordered like $160 today and called me. It is true what you put out there does seem to happen.
That's very, very good. How did you approach the lady in that coffee shop? What did you say to her? How did you bring up Shackley? I think that's very interesting.
I can't hear you.
Can you hear me now? How about now?
No.
Michelle, it must be something on your end because we can hear clearly.
Maybe I need to leave and come back.
Do that. Do that.
Okay, can you hear me now?
It's her system.
I
Roland.
just unplugged and put it back in. How
It's
about
not
now?
you. She had to go out and come back in because we can all hear you.
Okay. Can you hear me now, Michelle?
She went out and she's coming back in, Roland.
Okay. Okay. Well, while she's coming back in, I want to mention that Gary Nepper said to me the other day that they've got an in-home set up, I believe, sometime this week. So he'll be talking about what happened at that in-home. But I tell you, I just keep hearing such good results of people who have the focus and set up the in-homes. It's just very, very good. Michelle, are you back in? Because I'm very curious as to how she approached the people in the coffee shop. In the meantime, are there any questions or comments that you have? It's okay if you don't have anything to report on, but also I'd like to find out if you have any questions. Okay, Michelle, can you hear me now?
She's not quite back in yet.
Okay.
You can see she's got slow internet.
So I hope this is making sense about having clarity of the vision. We've talked about it so many times, and like in talking to Sharon about it, I said, you know, we've talked about it before, and you know, I'd like to know if there's something that I could have said better or different, because it didn't register before about what must be done to be a key coordinator to have that business at the key level. And she just said, well, probably I wasn't ready. So that's part of it too. People have got to be ready. You know, just like Pam is talking about Becky. Now she's ready. So not everybody is ready. So Michelle, are you there?
Yes, I'm here now. I don't know what happened, sir.
Okay.
Sorry.
So how did you approach the people in the coffee shop or the lady?
Well, I had been in there a few days ago, and I started talking to her about Shackley, and I don't usually have coffee in the afternoon, but I like her shop. So I went in, and she was there, the owner, and I ordered a coffee and started talking to her, and I asked her if what kind of cleaning products that she used, and I told her that I had safe, concentrated, organic products that she might like, and she said, oh, sure, you know, send me an email. And I'm like, okay, but usually that doesn't go anywhere. And I did send her an email, and she didn't respond. And so I went in there again today saying, you know, I know you're busy, but here I bought some samples if you'd like to try them. I have them in the car. And she said, oh my gosh, I have time right now. Can you sit down and tell me? So I was there about an hour and probably talking to her, and she's very excited. So she kept the products, and I'll go back in a day. And then another lady came in that owns a store down the street, and she started listening in. And so they took some protein, and so we'll see. It was good. It was exciting. I'm just glad I went out because I didn't feel like it, but I pushed myself because I'm like, I got to have a good day. So that's what I did.
So you said they tried some protein. You had some samples there for them, or what?
Yes.
Okay.
I had some in a packet. I don't think they have them anymore, but they expire in October. But so I gave her a couple of. She makes smoothies at the coffee shop.
Oh, really?
And I started to tell her about the Shackley protein, and so she was very interested in trying it. So
wow.
We'll see.
You know what's interesting, Michelle, is there is a it's not even called a coffee shop. It's downtown here.
Mm-hmm.
And they make protein smoothies in all different flavors. And it has gone over so big. And they're in, I don't know, some other company with not a very good protein.
Well, yeah, she had a can of protein up there, but I didn't mention it, what she's using. But I just asked her if she'd like to take a look at what Shackley has. And she was really interested. It was awesome.
Yeah.
So it's just nice to get a positive reaction, because you do get negative ones because people just aren't ready or they're not interested. So it's just hard not to sometimes take it personally, and you just got to keep going. Because I watched the movie In Pursuit of Happiness, and I don't know if you've ever seen that movie, but that inspired me because he had to make 100 phone calls before he got a yes. So I'm like, I'm going to just keep calling people till I get a yes. Because I figure I won't talk to him probably again. I don't have anything to lose. And he didn't give up. And so I'm like, you know what? He could do it. I can do it.
Oh, yes. That was a great movie. I'm just trying to think. I just recalled.
Yeah, he was homeless and he had a
Yeah.
child. And then he ended up being having his own stockbroker company. So he did very well, but he didn't
Yes.
give up. So that's the
That's
lesson I learned from it.
that is so good.
Because
Thank
we
you.
all get to a point sometimes where we're like, oh, what's happening? Nothing's happening. You just can't get yourself down when you get no's.
Refocus, refocus, refocus.
Yes, because I want it so bad, and I tell everyone it's my mission to let people know what their options are for safe products to consume and to clean with. So it is my passion.
It is, and you do a great job of it. Thank you for that. That was very good. Anybody else, or any comments from anybody, or any questions for anyone? Does anybody want to share what their vision is? Maggie? I know it's getting close to your bedtime, but
Yes, it is. You know, it's almost 10 o'clock here, so
uh-huh.
got to get up early for those little buggers. No, my vision is executive coordinator, and of course to go to Costa Rica.
And what kind of strategy are you putting in to your business to do that?
Well, I'm getting some in-homes lined up, doing some one-on-ones, just trying to talk to as many people as I can.
You currently have any in-homes lined up?
Yeah, with Brittany.
Oh, that's right.
Mm-hmm.
And where is she going to have that one again? Because you said she's not having it in her home.
Yeah, she's doing it in a little restaurant in downtown Middleville.
Okay.
She actually texted me tonight and said she reserved a room there because you can use a room for free over there, and she's reserved a room for 10 to 20 people. So
Wonderful.
We'll see how many show up.
Okay. And when is that?
Well, she was going to do it on the 23rd of this month, but we got a lot going on at school that week, and then the spring break is close, so she must have talked to a few people who said that was not a great time, so she changed it till like the Wednesday after, like April 10.
Okay. Okay, very good. Any other comments? What are you thinking, Maxie? It's the first time you've been on this Zoom.
I was just thinking about, we've been doing coaching with you fairly recently. So I was just thinking about how business has changed for me in that time. And it's interesting, a few days ago, I had a member upgrade to distributor. And so that was a big thing since I hadn't sponsored a distributor in a very, 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 very long time. So it was a nice, as Michelle was saying, it's nice to have those validating experiences, those positive experiences that kind of keep you going, even though when the going gets rough. So that was definitely amazing to have happen. And we're working on doing a presentation for him too. So we're meeting next week to go over details and figure out what his next step will be. So yeah, and then I'm meeting tomorrow with the lady that I was telling you about that I had followed up with very consistently after a setup, and it was my first setup success. So we're talking tomorrow, and she was telling me all about her family, and you know, that they're all very local. And she was saying that we first started off with 180, and she was interested in weight loss, and then she was telling me, you know, she's actually interested. She had a lot of questions regarding other products, but she wasn't able to get into it on the phone. So that's why we're meeting tomorrow, so we can talk more about it. And then I met another chiropractor who was interested in collaborating with Shackley. So I'm excited to see where that goes, and I'm seeing him tomorrow morning. So yeah.
Very good, Maxie. So what have you changed since we've been talking? What are things that you found to be productive in the things that you've changed?
I think my focus beforehand was completely off. I think the focus beforehand was more self-serving than it was thinking of others and putting others' well-being and health and improvement first. I think beforehand it was more, how can I come across well versus how can I make sure they understand it's about them and that I'm really trying to help them, and so that they're even open to listening. Because really that's what I want to do, is I want to help them, give them the option, give them the information to make a good decision for them, whatever that might be. And whatever they choose, that's up to them. I can't influence that besides doing my job and telling them about Shackley and making sure that I don't create any additional obstacles in them.
So we've had a chance to talk about vision, and have you been able to focus your vision differently than other than just focusing on yourself, but focusing on other people, but also the vision I'm talking about as to where you're going in Shackley? You've been working on that?
Yes. So I actually changed. It's interesting because I really want to go to Costa Rica. So I changed my screensaver to a picture of Costa Rica because I'm on my phone all the time. So I figured if I'm going to be on it all the time, I might as well remind myself what my goal is. So, and what my vision is. And so, yeah, so my goal is to be a senior coordinator. That is my goal. And so I'm really excited, and I want to go on vacation with my mom. So I hope, Mom, you will come with me. If you want to or not, I'll drag you with me. And so that's my big goal.
Mm-hmm. Very good.
And I'm calling tomorrow because I was telling you I can't find the menus of any of the restaurants. And as we were saying, there are so many restaurants there. So the focus is definitely food. And so I'm calling them tomorrow so that they can fax me some menus so I can already pick out what I'm going to be eating and when I'm going to be eating it.
What a great plan. What a great thing to do. Details of the future. That's really, really, really good. Mm-hmm. Okay, anybody else? Any questions? Well, I want to thank you for being on. And I feel we learned so much from each other. And yes, there are going to be some times when we're not feeling very good because maybe we got a number of no's or whatever, but I think we've heard the importance of having the perseverance and having the focus, because that drives everything. And so what can I do? And these are good things to be talking about. Like Maxie, you're talking about getting the menus, finding out what the menus are for these restaurants, finding out what other people are doing to keep focused and to improve the focus of whatever it is you're challenging yourself to do. And I think that's something that we should discuss more of. Appreciate Nina showing those pictures, which I've looked at many times. And you got to, like I said so many times, feel the sand between your toes and the ocean breeze. You got to feel it as you're walking there on the beach. You got to feel it, feel it, feel it. So it becomes an emotional thing. Because I believe we're going to have a lot of people in the Osterhaus group that are going to be in Costa Rica, and all of you should be there. You can if you choose. It's just a matter of choice. Okay, thanks for being on, and this is, of course, recorded. And thank you, Nina, every time put it into a YouTube, and you want to let people know, once again, how to get to that YouTube and find the recordings of the health testimonies and also find the recordings of these business Zooms. So you want to tell everybody, Nina? You're muted.
To find them, you go to To find them, you go to YouTube, and then you go to Blazing Radiance, and then you go to Roland Zooms or Tuesday testimonials if you want to use the earlier testimonials that we do before this call. So, but share them with some of your builders too, and encourage them to come on if they can get on. So.
And I appreciate, thank you, Nina, and I appreciate what you and Marion are doing with the testimonials. And, you know, what an opportunity for everybody to learn more about the products that are coming into Shaklee. I think, and some people may not have Zoom, so you may say, well, it's on Zoom, and they don't have Zoom, so they don't say that, and they never get to see it. So ask them, do you have Zoom? And you can show them how to get on Zoom and see these recordings, and you can point out various ones that have to do with testimonials and so on, saying this one on a particular date is talking about whatever the problem might be. And I know the one that Sharon is going to be doing next week is going to be phenomenally good, Sharon Gale. And I'm anxious to listen to it because I remember the stories when you were in the hospital.
So do I.
And talking to you about the situation and what your parents could sneak in to help you. And we even had a chance, I believe, to talk to Jim Whittam, who is a scientist at Shaklee. And so you had a lot of support on that one. So invite people to it. Invite people to it. Because
and
it'll
also,
save.
If any of you have great testimonials or have people in your group, please contact myself or Marion. And so we can get those testimonials out there to share.
Okay. Thanks for being on. Have a good evening. Go to bed, Maggie.